What score is it?
4-0 to close.
Yeah.
Alright, great. So now we're back. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Where's Wally?
I've flown back into Montreal.
Oh, you never left.
Yeah. You're meant to make out like I've flown home and come back. 3,000 miles each way.
People have already seen the shirts by the time they've seen this episode. So.
Yeah, these are the shirts I got made up. Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report, Universe.
That's amazing
So,
you did that.
I made 10 of them. So one for all the guys who host the shows, a few people are coming out for 400, but if anyone's watching this that didn't make it along to 400 and would like one, I'd be happy to get one made up to you. DM me your address and I'd love to send one on to you. So these were literally made last minute. They were made at like pretty much on the way to the airport nearly. Like it was like we'd ask how quick can you make it, and they were like 6 days, and we were like, okay, you've got 6 minutes kind of thing. But it was like we pushed them on it, we begged them, we told them who you were, who Dave was, and how important it was, and they did it. So fair play to, what's the name now? What's the company called? Give them a shout out.
I actually forget.
Whoever the t-shirt making company is in Blanchardstown Shopping Centre in Dublin, they did these. So whatever your name is, thank you.
I think it's a penalty for both.
Is it? Oh, Bo's penalty. There you go.
So for DM, where can they DM you?
Yeah. Oh, DM me at Wally Byrne. I think that's the.
On Twitter, right?
At Twitter, sorry, yeah, Wally Byrne. I think anyone who kind of would follow would be listening to this often follows me. I think like the likes of Andy and all, and
Some people might be watching this for the first time.
That's true. That's true. But anyone who does, it's at Wally Byrne at twitter.com. I think it's at Wally Byrne. You'll see me. I tag you a lot on stuff. So you probably see my name on it. So it's Wally Byrne.
Woken Wally Byrne.
Woken Wally Byrne is actually my name on it. So it's like the
but it's not at though. It's at.
Yeah, it's at Wally Byrne.
Yeah.
I remember the first time Dave Simon ever read out my name. He said it like he did. He was like at Wally Byrne, and his big pause. It was like he wasn't sure how do you pronounce his name. But yeah, it's like B-U-R-N, like when you burn things, but it's B-Y-R-N-E. But yeah, if you want to DM me, as I say, Ringside Report, Wrestling Said, anyone who likes either of them shows and you want one, don't worry, I'm not going to charge you. I'm not selling that here. This isn't a commercial. This isn't a barbecue sauce commercial.
Hey, if you make money, it's all cool.
No, it's not at all. I'd just like to give something back to the universe. As I say, I got one made for Dave, for yourself, for Freddie and AJ and Muscles Marco and Zev. You got Zev made a little tiny one. We got a little t-shirt. So as I say, if there's anyone that didn't make along 400 and would like a t-shirt for Wrestling Uncensored or Ringside Report, the 400 episode, I'd be happy to send one on to you.
Very gracious.
Send me your address and I'll get another one made up.
Fantastic.
It might even look better than this because this was a rush job. So they might get the better ones. The people who didn't come will get rewarded.
I like this though. This is good.
Yeah,
This is fantastic.
Bad. Yeah.
It's
the
not
colours were really. Like we had to get it was either blue, pink, or green or something. I know we could have got green for Ireland, but it was kind of I thought a bit predictable. I thought because it's like the ocean as well. I thought it was kind of like the world and the ocean, so like the universe.
No,
I actually didn't think that blue was the cheapest.
But no, it works though. It works.
Yeah, black was actually twice the price. So I was like,
dang,
okay, it doesn't matter. I was like, no, it's grand. Like black's nice and all, but I was like, there's no point. Just give us the blue. But at least not pink. You could have got pink shirts. Antoinette probably would have liked that, but
probably.
Yeah.
But we watched the new Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, we did.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I can't believe that Johnny ate 8 hot dogs in while the credits were coming out at the start. This man's an animal for the food.
I only ate one hot dog at the start. I ate a second one, I think, around the halfway point.
Yeah, he actually, like, usually when he ate a big hot dog, I only noticed that, because I thought he might have popped out to get another one, because he was eating a hot dog and I thought he'd eaten them, and then out of nowhere, halfway through the film, another one comes out of nowhere, and it's like, wow, he kept that. But the movie itself, really surprised, because I've never actually watched a full Mission Impossible film from the start to the end.
Really?
Usually, yeah, I swear, yeah, that was the first one I ever watched, and I will watch the rest now, for sure. Like, I've seen some of them. Like when I go into someone's house and they'd have a movie on, I'd watch say 20 minutes and I'd go, okay, we're going out now, and you'd leave, so you never get to see it.
Okay.
So I've seen all probably the big scenes, all the famous scenes throughout the years of the Mission Impossible films, but this was the first one I ever went into a movie theatre, sat down, especially with Johnny North, and watched it like from start to finish, and I'm surprised because I thought it would be just kind of explosion, love scene, explosion, love scenes, it can go together. But it's like, I thought it'd be kind of something like that kind of thing. And it's not. Like, there was a good storyline to it. Tom Cruise was excellent, which I know he's a good actor because he's been in so many great films in the past. Like, he is a great actor. Rain Man, something I'd recommend for anyone who hasn't seen it. Great film. With Dustin Hoffman. But I think that the fact that he's a good actor, he holds it together well because he's very believable. I think he's only meant to be about 5'6" or something, but the fight scenes were great in it. Like there's a fight scene in the toilet that is up there with anything I've seen in a fight scene since Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, it's actually unbelievable. Like, okay, it's not that level now, but it's really good. Like it's really believable because it's 2-on-1, and you expect it to be Tom Cruise that's taking on 2, and it's not. He has the guy with him that's fighting against the other guy, and they're getting their ass kicked, and then they go back on top, and it's just kind of, it's like a real fight. It's to and fro, and some of the scenes like of the fights were brilliant. I thought where you could, especially the bit where your man's out of it, and they're trying to scan his face so they can use it, and he comes to, and he basically kicks him through the cubicle door with such force. You're just like, damn, you know, whoa. You put a beating on him, but it's like I thought it was really good. What do you think?
Well, it's just amazing, like you say, like for them to bring that level of action. It's tough to make it really exciting after doing so many movies now. Like this is the 6th one they've done. It's hard to make it exciting and to like have those swerves where it's like, oh, you don't know what's really gonna happen. Like that takes a lot of good writing. Yeah. And again, great action too. And Tom Cruise, like, gotta commend him, man. Like he got injured doing this movie. And
what scene was it, do you know?
I think it was the scene where, remember when he jumped from that rooftop and you saw like someone was looking through the window or whatever?
Yeah.
Apparently he like injured his ankle on that one. Yeah, I think it's
could,
surgery.
Yeah, because he was jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and I thought they even made that interesting because sometimes in films when they were jumping from rooftops, they just nearly had them lined up and they looked the exact same. They were all at different levels, so he was jumping down sometimes to one below, and he was jumping up to grab on, and it just looked like the way roofs are, they're not all the same. They all go up and down, and it just added, again, a bit like WWE. When it's believably done, you believe it more. You kind of go into a world where you start thinking, "Whoa, this is happening." I think one of the great things I thought about it as well was the character development. You kind of got to know the people. You kind of cared a little bit about them, not loads, but you did kind of think, "Yeah, I want them to get out of this. I'd like them to get through this." Where sometimes I find myself watching films, and it isn't that I'm a sadistic person, but I mean, you think, okay, blow all these guys up already. I want to leave the theatre. You know, like these are guys who are annoying me. I actually want these guys to lose. Do you know what I mean? I'm for the bad guy because I often root for the heel. So I'd be like, come on, get rid of them. But today I was watching, I was thinking, yeah, I hope Tom gets through this. You know, hit that detonator. You know.
Yeah.
So so I think the character development was good. I like the way you kind of got to know what behind the storylines behind them, and there was a lot of twists. There was as many twists in the storyline as there was in the car chases going through the streets. Like you didn't know what way it was going to go. Really, it wasn't really predictable. Because I find at times when you're like us and we watch WWE, you start, especially you are great at it. You and Dave are amazing at it. It's predicting what way the storyline's going to go. You've often said something. I'm like, oh, is it going to go that way? And then you're like, whoa, it is. And then we tweet you about it and go, great show. It did. That's exactly what happened. But I think that a lot of time when you kind of watch things like WWE, you kind of see films and you're like, he did it, and people are like, what? He did it. But he's the grandfather, yeah, he's the killer, and then he is the killer. But it's kind of like that, whereas today I was watching the film and I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure what way this is going to go, so I like that about it too. Like, I like being surprised, you know.
Yeah, I find...
as much as you can be.
It's really hard to pull that off, and the fact that you can do that, it really just goes to show you how good of a movie it was, to pull that off. I also found, though, that you talked about there was, like, love scenes and all that. There wasn't really much love. I mean, yes, he did have some girls of interest, but...
Which I think was good, though. Like, I think when I say love, I mean as in, like, it kind of showed you his past, like his wife and stuff. There was kind of some kind of, he had kind of a...
Yeah.
Rather than just, like, the whole Bond, femme fatale, and you got the Bond, the lady always had the woman in it. Do you know what I mean? They always say the female, like the Bond girl. Don't they call them Bond girls? People, so there's all different ones. Like Terry Hatcher was one, and a few others. I don't know why I just remember her as the Bond girl. She's probably the least famous Bond girl ever. Did she die in it? See, there you go. I wouldn't be huge on the Bonds either. I've seen all of them, but never from minute 1 to minute 90, say. I've seen all the different bits of them, because I lived with a guy that loved Bond, but you come in and you'd watch, say, half an hour of Tomorrow Never Dies, and then you go in and watch half an hour another one, and then you see kind of, so I've seen them all at some stage, but never in a lineal order or anything like that. I've even seen the Welsh ones. There was a Welsh guy playing them. What was his name? Putting him on the spot.
Name's escaping me right
now.
I'm not,
Timothy Dalton, wasn't it?
It was Timothy Dalton,
yes,
you're right.
Yeah, so I think he did 2, didn't he, or 1? I think he did 1.
I think he did 2.
Did 2, yeah.
He did 2.
But like, so like, even like back to the Mission Impossible. I think the character development was really good. I think it was like solid that you got to know the people who were in it. The love interest, as I was saying, was just. It didn't need to. Sometimes I think they take over films. You're kind of like, okay, yeah. Does he get the girl in the end? Does he not? Whereas this was kind of more. It was a deeper kind of felt, where because it was his wife, you know, and it explained why they weren't together anymore. It wasn't because they loved each other. They weren't together anymore because they did. Because they realised if he was there looking after her, the rest of the world would be getting destroyed. Because he's basically keeping it together.
Yeah.
He's the glue that's basically stopping all the bad stuff happening.
And I find with stories like this, it's really easy to get lost because it's kind of complicated. There's so many characters going on. You don't know like who's on what side. And I thought they did a great job of explaining it. Like they pretty much explain how the situation is going to go, and then this is what happened. And they made it kind of simple for you.
Yeah.
But it also seemed like it was kind of complex the way it was put together.
Completely. Like it was a really, really complex storyline that was explained really well.
Yeah.
There was no point where I was lost going, what? Like, who's that? Like, what's he doing now? Is he not this or that? It was like, but at the same time, it was like it wasn't just A, B, C, D. It was A to F to G to C, back to G, back to B. And you're kind of like, whoa. But it's really well followed. Like, they joined the dots well. They connected it well that you kind of knew what was going on. But it was a complicated storyline enough to keep you guessing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think the acting was really good. That guy who played... we won't ruin it actually in case someone wants to see it, but the guy who was like in the fight scene, say, in the toilet with the...
Walker,
yeah, the tash and stuff going on, and he was a good actor. He was very, very good.
Yeah, he was very good, yeah.
He looked a bit like the guy actually out of 50 Shades. A bit like...
not quite, but...
a little bit. He kind of had a hint of it. Amy actually nudged me during the film and said, he's like your man out of 50 Shades.
Yeah.
He did. He had a look of him kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Well, the villain, the other guy, he looks like Liam Neeson, but it's not Liam Neeson.
Yes,
You know,
he did.
so
Yeah.
They do that on purpose.
I think they do to keep you guessing, kind of. And
Well,
your man was in it. What was the name of the guy? He's got loads of brothers, like 3 or 4.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was good in it too.
Yeah, but I thought he's always in that role. He's in the same role in like
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, he plays that kind of role.
Yeah,
that
exact
kind
same
of guy.
thing.
And yeah, Alec Baldwin plays Alec Baldwin. But yeah, no, he is. He's kind of typecast into that role. But he does it good.
Oh, he's very
He was
good,
actually
yeah.
good in that. What was that film called with that guy? Jim Carrey film. Remember him and the wife? And he's the boss in it. Actually, he plays a slightly different part. He's the boss, and he's basically closing down. It was a Jane. What was that? Fun with Dick and Jane.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
You need to see that.
I haven't seen that.
Really,
one.
really good. It's a good comedy, but like he plays the bad guy again in it. But
Okay.
he's brilliant. He's actually really good. You kind of want him to. You kind of want him to kind of come a cropper. I won't tell you how it ends, but that's worth a look.
Okay, cool. You've seen the Spotless Mind, right, with Jim Carrey?
Yes, really good. Jim
Oh.
Carrey's really good. He was living in Ireland for a while actually. He was
Really?
gone out with a girl, yeah, from Ireland.
Oh.
But yeah, so he was living near enough to me. But never
Canadian
met him.
too, Jim Carrey, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like probably the funniest man alive. Amazing, so funny. Like I love all his stuff and Cable Guy and all that. Many people got that. People thought it was a bad film, but I loved it. Great film. Pity we didn't go to see Cable Guy. Imagine that would have been great. As much as we've seen it before.
Well, the thing is, like, I was a kid, you know, so...
Yeah, that would have been weird.
Yeah.
And I would have had to fly over from Dublin to see Cable Guy.
But,
it was worth seeing though, wasn't it? The film today.
Mission
So,
Impossible,
yeah.
thumbs up?
Definitely give it. It's Johnny Biceps, isn't it? We
Yep.
voted, and so I give it
2.
what? I'd say maybe more. I'd say out of 5. It's usually out of 5. I think 10's a more better number though to rate something out of 5. It kind of
So how many, we're giving it
out
9?
of 10. Out of 10 biceps, I give it 8.
I give it a 9.
9, yeah. Yeah. 9 would be kind of for the elite movies in my mind.
I think it really is up there. It might be
It
one
is
of the
really
best
good.
Mission Impossibles they've had. And
It's the
says
best
a lot.
one I've ever seen from start to finish.
Okay, that's not saying much.
But yeah, no, but it's, and out of all the other little, I'd say like, it seemed to really like, I haven't seen all the other ones like in linear order or in full, but it seems like even from the clips I'd have seen before that they stepped it up for some of the chases. Like sometimes we've all seen chases since the 70s in these films, like where you'd see like the chase and they knock over a bin and this. Like these were really interesting and it was really good, and I liked even the bit at the start where the car doors open. And he's looking at there's a BMW with the car door open, what he wants on the car, and he just has to grab that and jump into the car and he's gone, and that's the film over. But instead, he saves his friend. I think that was really well done, that it just showed you. I like the way he just keeps looking at the thing, then the car, then back, then the car, and you're just thinking, grab it and go, and he's like, no. And then that immediately makes you like him.
Yeah.
You immediately think, okay, Do you know what I mean? This is a character I want to get behind. And
Yeah.
I want him to do well. I think they laid it out well. The film was put on well, and then the chase there's a helicopter chasing it as well, which is really interesting.
It was crazy.
And this is after like 2 hours of being in there. Sometimes after 2 hours you're kind of like, okay, come on, just like wrap this up in 2 minutes, really somehow like end this. But I wasn't. I was kind of going, this is really good. Your man Simon Pegg is brilliant in it. He's excellent. I'm not sure if anyone knows Simon Pegg. He's an English actor. He played the kind of comedy character.
Yeah.
He
well known.
was huge in England for years and over in Ireland as well for comedy. Like he does. I'm not sure if would you know Alan Partridge over here in Canada.
I feel like I've heard of this.
Yeah, he's a comedian. And he's a character, and very very funny. But Simon Pegg would have been a writer on that, and he would have been like. He's good friends with Ricky Gervais and all that. They've often done stuff together as well.
Okay.
But he's really funny guy. But he kind of started out his acting career in kind of like comedian kind of films. Like they were kind of like low budget UK films. But to see him get into a Mission Impossible, like it's great to see because he comes across as a really nice guy. Maybe if you met him, he wouldn't be. But I've seen him interviewing on Jonathan Ross and stuff, and he comes across as a great guy. So again, someone that you like to see do well. And I thought he was really good acting. I believed him as well. He played that kind of part of the kind of the techie guy kind of. Very, very well, and I think he was very likeable. Most of the characters were likeable.
Yeah.
Like the ones who were helping him out, they were all likeable in the film. Like.
Yeah. I find with Peg though, he still does comedy movies.
Yeah, he does, but you'd see him like go into a role like that to get a role. Like the fact that they would have like gone looking for him and said, "We want to offer you a role in Mission Impossible." If you had asked me today, who do you reckon's in the Mission Impossible cast, and I'd have written down 1,000 actors, I think Simon Pegg wouldn't have been in there. Like I wouldn't have wrote him down as great casting. Because I couldn't think of anyone that would have done the part better. And he really fitted in well with the film. I think all the roles were really well played. I can't think of one thing I can't stand in films. I'll watch any film as long as it's good acting. If I believe it, I'll watch it.
Right.
Some of my favourite series ever, the storyline was kind of okay, but the acting was amazing. And I thought the acting for a film like that, especially like a film of that standard, it wasn't basically just like an Oscar kind of film where you do some of these Oscar kind of films. It's just all about the acting, the camera's in your face, now act kind of thing. I think some of the acting in it was brilliant for something that's like all about explosions and chases, and I think it had a little bit more than just that. I think.
I found the only part that was kind of cheesy when they did the opening credits.
What happened actually?
Well, they just...
Oh, in the bed. Was it the guy in the bed?
Yeah, how it's just like, it's an opening credit and it just feels like, they show all the action scenes and like one little like montage kind of thing. Like that seemed kind of cheesy, because that just felt like a TV show where they're just like airing it.
Yeah.
That felt like... Okay.
The credits ended after about 20 minutes or something, wasn't it? It was really long.
Oh, the credits were extremely
Credits were about 20 minutes long.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully we didn't stay after the credits, so hopefully we didn't miss anything after.
Yeah, that's it. It was like, I think that the bit, there was a good scene at the start, and I actually forgot it until now, but it was when he's in the hospital bed, one of the guys, and he thinks he's watching a news broadcast, he gets really nervous about something that's happening, and he like tells them what they want to know, and then the walls just fall down, and he's actually in a... He's thought he's been passed out for a couple of years or something, wasn't it? And they were saying he's been in coma for 2 years, and he hasn't been. He's actually just been out for about an hour, and the walls aren't the hospital. It's actually just like an interrogation kind of place. And
it's a great swerve.
Yeah, and the guy who was reading the news pulled his mask off, and it's Simon Pegg. And but we haven't heard any of the film really. These are all just scene spots, as we call them in wrestling, to be spots.
Well, the opening kinda, but I mean, if you're watching this so far, I mean, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get spoiled a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But still, you'd still enjoy it.
Oh yeah, well, you should go out and go watch this.
Like I was able to enjoy the Abdul film, the Victorian Abdul, even when you did the review on it, and 50 Shades was still very enjoyable. Even when I knew what was happening when he took the thumb out, I knew what was going to happen. I knew what was coming, but I still thought, I'm still enjoying this. This is still a good film.
Yeah, those were fun times.
Yeah, they were. Where would you rank it against the likes of 50 Shades?
It's really different. I mean,
because you gave this a 9, so that doesn't leave much room to maneuver on the 50 Shades films.
No. See, the problem is too, like, and if you listen to the last one, if you remember, like,
I remember.
The second one was actually better than the last one.
I don't know. I thought the last one was really good.
No, I think the second one was even better, actually. Like, this one, like, it felt like things, you knew what was going to happen. Like, everything was built up well, but you kind of knew how things were going to fall into place.
I actually didn't. I'm going to be honest. I'd never read the books.
Oh. Well, neither did I.
Yeah.
I could see it.
I wasn't sure if he was going to get killed, because at the end of the second one, the guy looks up and there's the fireworks going off and they're partying, and he just looks like, I want to get revenge here. Right. And I just thought they might have, like, cause it was based off a kind of girly book. It started off being like a, what's it called, chick lit, isn't it? A child chick lit?
Well, it's off the was it Vampire Diary thing, whatever?
Was it from that? Was it?
Yeah, it was from that. Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like from the books. I just thought like they're probably gonna want a tearjerker. It's probably gonna end where like he saves her and then she inherits his fortune or something, that kind of line. I wasn't too sure.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was glad that the kind of like the twist at the end was kind of that they're gonna be parents. And
I think that was what hurt.
have you seen the first one?
I actually still haven't seen the first
You
one.
need to see the first. I had a feeling you hadn't.
That's next year, actually. I mean,
Episode 425.
I don't know if it's gonna land like that. I mean, I think we were just lucky because
Yeah, because it was 350 and then 375, wasn't it?
it was, I believe, 325 or was it 350?
350, yeah. Because I listened to it there the other night. I sometimes go back and listen to these shows. 'Cause
Okay.
I need a bad day in work and you're like, oh, I need to laugh. 350, get it out, brilliant. I think it was 350, 375. I know 375 was.
Oh yeah, definitely 375 was the last one.
I
Yeah.
think it was. Oh, was it 325? It could have been the 325.
I feel like because I want to say it was a year difference, right?
Right.
But you
Oh,
take
right.
away 2 weeks because
Dave.
left because Zev
Congratulations,
was born.
Dave.
Congrats, yes, late obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why it just happened to work. Like I didn't plan it like that.
I think you could be right actually. It could be 325.
So I don't know. Like it's probably not gonna fall like that. 420. It'll be like 420.
You could plan it though, because it's not as if you have to wait for it to come out in the theater. It's out.
Oh, of course.
It's actually available. We have it at home. We can
It's on
actually send it to
Netflix.
you. We can send you the
It's
DVD.
on Netflix. I can watch it
there you go.
tonight.
But you have to time it, I think, for a special show. I think at 3. Because I think you'd be surprised because it's the first one is really good, but it's kind of it's different. Like she's very young in it and all. It's kind of very it's all
Right.
it's much more innocent kind of.
Right.
And then the second one's kind of more ramped up, and then the third
Oh, the second one's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. Like I was really, as if you've listened to episode 325, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it actually could be. 350 was something though as well. There was something on 350.
something happened with
That
350.
could have been Victoria and Abdul,
Maybe.
which is so an underestimate.
Atomic Blonde, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Something like that happened.
Someone was saying Atomic Blonde the other day, weren't they on the?
I think Sasha
Twitter?
Lagarde was
Sasha
saying
loves
something like
Atomic
that. Yeah. Oh, it was good too.
And what would
Good
you?
times.
I was gonna say with the Victoria and Abdul. That's definitely a movie review that's kind of forgotten, but I think it's up there with any of them. If you haven't, we must rule out what episode it is because it's so funny. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the week after, when Dave Simon starts talking about what it really was about, because you're saying it was about a certain thing, and then someone, I'm not sure who it is, you probably post something in the video who it is, said, I actually watched this, and that's not what happens in the film at all. They don't fall in love. There's nothing about that at all in the film. I thought that was brilliant.
Like, well, I don't know what they saw. I saw something different. That's all. You know. Clearly, I think there was romantic involvement there, but fine. You know, like you can interpret it how you want to interpret.
I'm just gonna have to watch it myself. I'll let you know. I'm gonna watch it and see because it is again. I seen it the other day on Sky. We've got Sky at home. That's the English, the UK. Is Sky over here? Would it be Sky TV?
No, Sky's just for you guys actually.
I keep actually mentioning Sky. Should probably stop because they're a rival of the company I work for. So
Wow.
Vodafone, throw it in there, Vodafone, just in case Vodafone are watching. No, but Sky TV, they've got the box sets and they have Abdul and that. So I'm gonna watch that when I get back to Ireland
Cool.
and I'll let you know. I'll give it a look. But the 50 Shades, yeah, you have to watch the first one.
Of course.
Because to have watched the second and third ones, and you liked it so much, like.
Yeah, of course. Like I had planned like to go back and watch it, but you know, I wasn't sure when, and then I thought about it. Like, yeah, another year. You know, it's always Valentine's Day. It's always kind of how it always worked out. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah, it just happened to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait till Valentine's Day again. I wasn't sure because I was like, you know, 2 and 3 were really good, and especially off the reaction of the last one, I'm like, you know, I may have peaked here. Like this is it. You know.
Nah,
like,
it's always actually. If I'd watched it for the first 100 episodes of Wrestling Centered, I would have thought it had peaked. This
Okay.
that's best, so it's getting better and better all the time. So.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I know David's like, you know, at home like shaking his fist
Yeah.
like crazy right
And
now.
I think it'll work best when you don't even think about whether it's going to get better or better. It just happens naturally. You're just going to go see a film someday, and it's got you're just going to be laughing and going, "That's even better than."
I actually put a lot of work into that last 50 Shades. Like I really thought about what I was gonna say and everything.
And Dave kind of during it was kind of going, "Oh, I don't think it was as good as the other one," but.
Oh, he puts me down. He buries me all the time he possibly can. But you know, thankfully for guys like you and everyone else on Twitter, like they put me over like crazy.
Because I didn't even I listened to the show. Like I usually listen to Ringside Report, hopefully live. If I fall asleep, I wake up and watch it. Then Wrestling Censored, I'd watch it. I'd watch it when I got home from work. As I get in from work on a Friday, it's just starting the YouTube video, so I'd watch that, and then
Okay.
I'd listen to the other show when it usually drops on a Sunday morning, about
Yes,
6 a.m. So
Yeah.
I'd wake up maybe about 8 a.m. if I haven't been watching the UFC, and I'd put it on.
Mhm.
And then, or if I'm watching UFC, it tends to come on straight away. It's up as soon as the event finishes, so it's
Wow.
perfect timing. So I'd give it a listen. But what was I actually? I'm actually getting lost in what I was actually saying.
For the show, for the 50 Shades,
What was I
like
saying?
when you were watching it.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, thank you. It was, I couldn't actually watch it that weekend. I had to wait until the Monday, because it's a
Okay.
special deal, and where we're living in Ireland, you get, like on Monday you go, so you get a cinema ticket, popcorn and a drink for a tenner, which is unbelievable, $10. €10 actually is.
Okay.
But,
Well,
so we
that's
waited,
really expensive for
so
us.
so we couldn't watch anything kind of like, we couldn't listen to Wrestling Sense because we didn't want to hear, in case
Okay.
you said the big reveal, because it was the one where I was kind of thinking, does he die? Do they have a kid? What? I didn't know what that happened, so we
Okay.
held off. But when we literally got out of the cinema, we got into the car straight away and put it on, and I actually couldn't even drive away. I remember messaging Dave saying, I have to wait for about 5 minutes until I stop laughing because I can't drive.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
that tweet. I remember
And that's a
that.
true story, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And he was there, yeah, that's a true story. And then, but then we listened to it fully and then went back. We didn't even listen to the rest of the episode, we just went right back to the start again and then drove out and played it as we drove home again.
Wow.
So that's how good it was. So don't listen to Dave. Dave's a great guy, we love Dave, but when it comes to the movie reviews, he doesn't even realise how good they are. He does realise how good they are. He likes to keep you on your toes, I think it is.
Well, I think he just like has to accept the fact that there's a fan base for it.
Yeah.
Now that's the problem.
That's what it is, because I think I can see where he's going. Everybody thinks like wrestling show, movie reviews, how does that go? But it just works.
Well, I think it just goes to show you've seen wrestlers in movies a lot now, so it goes hand in hand practically.
Yeah.
And it's entertainment.
It goes
right?
thumb and butt, like hand in hand.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
It does.
But like it's entertainment, and it's storytelling, and a lot of it can relate to wrestling. And
How would you relate, say, here's a good one for you, how would you relate a 50 Shades storyline into wrestling? Say you need to have one.
I feel like it's been done.
Has it?
Sort of, in a sense. Like Orlando Jordan, wasn't he kind of like? I mean, he was a little bit more out there in a sense.
Yeah.
Because he had like a guy partner and a woman partner.
I suppose, yes. That's
But he was kind of crazy a little bit.
WWE's first ever 50 Shades match. How about that?
Wow, that's never gonna happen.
No.
See, you needed like a TNA. That's where he could have done his gimmick. And
Oh, yeah.
That's where he did his gimmick really, because
Yeah.
like WWE couldn't accept that. I mean, the fact that they had an openly gay character, it's kind of still rare. Like
Yeah.
Darren Young wasn't really able to do it. I mean, he admitted to it, but he didn't play an openly gay character.
No. Do you think Vince is still a bit behind the times and kind of that stuff?
I think they're just worried about the reaction of the
Right.
crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they have a problem with doing it. I think
No.
they're just worried that it's going to be a negative response. And
Different areas they might go to.
yeah, and it's been shown that, they can't control their crowd, obviously.
No.
So,
We won't be silenced.
well, it's
Or
better.
censored.
It's better not to dabble in something like that where it's just going to create more problems than good.
Yeah.
So I understand why they do it, but that's why you're never going to see like a 50 Shades of Grey character, because it's too controversial.
Yeah. True. Yeah. What's the most controversial gimmick you've ever done, or have you done?
I wouldn't say Genesis is very controversial.
No.
I think it's kind of standard almost now if you look at it with a lot of people. But I guess in terms of like angles, like controversial angles that I've been involved in, I guess when we had to I remember I think I was in a group in Maine, and we had to go like attack a girl, but we didn't attack a girl.
Oh, I seen that. You had to drag her into a van, wasn't it?
That was different.
Oh, that was a different one,
That
was it?
wasn't actually me, or whatever, but that was like
Oh, that was a
me
mask.
under a mask. That,
Yeah,
that was in
yeah.
Montreal. Yeah.
Was that recorded in Montreal? Was it?
That was in Montreal. It's on the internet too, and yeah, I actually did. I hit her. I may have hit her. And yeah, I put her I grabbed her in a bear hug and all that. I rang her down a bunch of stairs. I tossed her in a car. I then landed on her by accident, and I shouldn't particularly like that part too much, but that happened. But nothing led to that though. Like there was kind of like a spot show kind of thing. They were trying to start something. I think it was called Old School Wrestling. But yeah, nothing really happened off that. They were trying to do.
Whatever happened with the storyline? Where remember like the one that I was seeing, even when you bundled them into the car, did that go anywhere? Or did they just
No, that's it. Like
it just stopped. It didn't kind of say whether she was rescued or.
no, like no, nothing ever happened. They never got funding for another show, so.
So that's technically ongoing.
I suppose in a sense.
It's kind of that could pop up in say 10 years time on the local circuit here that they'd be like, remember this.
I guess it'd be kind of weird, she's been abducted for like so many years or whatever.
She could have had maybe Stockholm syndrome, then it kind of like had sympathy for the group, and then she's part of it, and then she comes back and these are all together, and she's the leader.
If she's been abducted for so long, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's kind of like become the leader of the group now, and is like you nearly are the minions to her. She's telling you what to do. She just barks instructions, and you just go, kick ass.
I just remember doing it and thinking like I'm hoping that the police don't see this or anything.
And think, yeah, is this real?
And think, yeah, like because it looked very shady the way it was pulled off.
With the mask on.
Well, with the mask on, we're all in a van, whatever, like speeding out like that in a back alley, and there's a guy like running after us. It wouldn't look too good, so thankfully we got out of there okay, and there was no problems. I think we would have been able to sell it that this is mainly theater.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sure, it wasn't as probably controversial as if someone had watched Oscar Suzuki.
No, that's it. I mean, I'm involved in like crazy angles. I mean, that was probably the craziest it gets, and even that wasn't that nuts. It's just, again, for today's time where apparently guys aren't allowed to hit girls, which is I don't know. I have my views on that, and they're different than everyone else, I guess, or most people. Where I think intergender wrestling is fine.
Yeah.
And I think in some cases, like when you have it for a certain story where you have something like a monster attack someone smaller, whether it be a girl or even a child, like I get it. Now, maybe some people won't think it's a good idea to do that, but man, we've seen like a freaking 10-year-old kid become WWE champion, like.
Is that the worst storyline ever?
No, it's not that bad. I've seen
the
worse.
kid getting picked out of the crowd with Braun.
It's not that bad when you think about it. It's just bad because the payoff.
Yeah, I think they covered it up too quickly. They were just like the next night he used to go to school. He's no longer champion. See ya. What was his name actually? Do you remember?
Nicholas.
Some memory.
Wow, he's kind of famous in this.
There's a guy in Ireland called a memory man. He remembers everything about sport. I think you're like the wrestling memory man. I think.
No, my memory's crap actually. Now that you see the same match on Raw every week, I can't remember the fact that Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins wrestled like 10 times on Raw. I can't remember that stuff. Like,
yeah, I think you're the best memory now of anyone I know personally.
Okay, thanks.
Wrestling. You pull some stuff out and it's just like, oh wow.
Well, Google will put me to shame all the time, but
Well, Google's a computer. Google has you put anything to Google, you get 10,000 things in a second. I think that's high competition. Google.
Oh, that's it.
We could put it to the test. I could ask you something and hit return and see does Google come up with the answer first. North versus Google. That could be.
I'll lose all the time.
That could be another spin-off show. There's so many spin-off shows now. That could be the next one. North versus Google. Who wins? I'm back in North.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I think you take it. You definitely beat Yahoo. Yahoo wouldn't stand a chance.
It still exists?
It's still out there, yeah. It is in Ireland anyway. Maybe it's only over there in us.
Oh, I think it's worldwide.
I think no one really uses it though. It's
like Jeeves, like.
Yeah, I think Yahoo's going to go more towards advertising and all now. It's like if you go on their page, it's loads of ads and then a tiny little section to search. Whereas Google are literally just happy just to have you search engine.
Wow. You have Gmail now?
I have a Gmail, yeah.
See, there you go. Like clearly Google won,
Yeah, that's it. Google.
So episode 2?
That was episode 2. I can't believe I had to fly all the way back out here to do episode 2.
Yeah. Right.
It's been a long 6,000 miles later.
It's been great having you.
Yeah, it was. It was good to see the movie, which was actually because I've watched your movie reviews the whole time, and someone had said someday you'll be there to watch a movie with Johnny.
And do a review with me.
And do a review with you, and have hot dogs with you, and popcorn.
Actually, I had the hot dog.
I had the popcorn. I'm just having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? It was great. Like walking through Montreal as well. Like we went for a walk last night. You were showing me all around what goes down at night in Montreal. It's just
very shady place.
Very shady. No, it's actually not. Everyone's so polite. And then walking through today, showing me the dollar shops.
Dollarama, yeah.
And Dollarama. Shout out to Dollarama. Yeah, it was really, it's a great city, really nice. We've got a great view, great balcony there in the apartment. Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was good walking around with you, talking wrestling and having fun. It's only the weekend's only begun. We still have episode 400.
Yeah.
We have Ringside Report tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
you know, we really should do. We
Yeah.
should buy like a dozen eggs and go egg old man Simon's house.
Yes, Old Man Simon. Yeah, that's something that I've always wanted to do is egg Old Man Simon's house.
That was a shout out for Dave
Yeah,
Simon.
Dave Simon, yeah, give them a shout out. And Freddie, AJ, Antoinette, Andy. Because I always like hearing my name being said, so you say the rest of them there. Sasha.
Well, this is the end.
John.
This is the end of your show here. You
Yeah.
wrap it up. You take us
Yeah.
home here.
Yeah, so I think I kind of did wrap it up there. It was thanks to everyone, I say, for having us over. It's been really good as a recording a bit of wrestling talk with you. I say we had a great chat last night about all the wrestling and kind of what my memories are of it. Obviously it's different for everyone because obviously over here it's used like better coverage of wrestling than we would have had. We'd have been just kind of fed the smaller shows and stuff, but I think we all kind of have the same kind of passion no matter what level of wrestling we watch, whether you've had access to pay-per-views for years or whether you were like me and just used to listen to them audio, which is kind of crazy. At first, I think the thing that kind of bonds us all is kind of that we kind of have all kept maybe a part of our childhood, kept a part of our innocence, and kind of just love something for what it is. Like people always say to me when I was going to WrestleMania, why are you going to that? Do you know that's fake and all? I was like, it ain't fake, man. 80,000 people in an arena looking at something and loving it ain't fake. It's more real than anything I've ever been to. And I've been to UFCs, I love UFC, absolutely adore it. But I remember I just said one day, if I had to get rid of one, WWE or UFC, to wipe one tomorrow, it doesn't exist anymore, what are you getting rid of? And I didn't even have to think. UFC, and it's not because I prefer watching wrestling, because sometimes the wrestling shows are way worse than, you get a way more consistent level of UFC, say, the fights. Like it's rare I'd watch a card and go, that was garbage. But there'd be cards I'd watch in the WWE and think it's garbage. I think it's the people. Especially just the people who I've been to UFC events with. Some great people I've been to crowds, but I've also been in crowds where I'm thinking, I do not like these people. I can't believe we love the same thing. But I've never been to a wrestling show where I've kind of looked around and gone, these people aren't like my people. Whereas I feel when you're at a wrestling show, as much as I know, I probably know a lot less about wrestling than I do UFC and MMA and boxing. I'd know more about that kind of side of things. I'd wipe all of them ahead of WWE because I think WWE means so much to so many people. I think it's like a way of life nearly. Like people just, like UFCs, some people will watch a card and they might say, oh, I'm not going to watch the next one, it's not a fighter I like. Whereas when you like WWE, you're watching it all, you know. You might get to see every show, but you're tuning into Wrestling Centre to find out what happened, or you're on Twitter to see what happened. And I just think it means a lot more to WWE people, fans of wrestling, pro wrestling, all that kind of level. I think it's a way of life. And as I say, it's great to be in Ireland. There wouldn't be that many people like my friends around that would really watch it, so I do always appreciate getting to chat to Johnny, chat to Dave, AJ, Freddie, all the people that would be tuning in on Twitter and all them that would be tuning in to watch it. It's great to have someone at 4 in the morning. It's 4 a.m. when I'm watching the WWE, when I'm watching SummerSlam, it's around that, so it's great to have so many used people talking to me online and chatting about the stuff that means something to me, and it's great to share, which is all. It's just great the way the World Wide Web is now, you know, that you can actually have friends from around the world, come meet them, and even when you're not in the same country as them, it doesn't really matter because you're all looking at the same ring, the same arena at the exact same time. If you're not live at it, you're watching on a screen and your laptop, your TV, and basically we're all on the one page, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah, it's great. Been enjoyable, and I will be back. This is my first trip to Montreal, but it definitely will not be my last. And as I said earlier on the first episode, I'm a man of my word. Like when Conor McGregor says something, I'm going to do that. He goes, does it. Not that I'm a big Conor McGregor fan either. It's just he is the kind of man who, when he says something, he goes, go do it. I'm the kind of man, if I say I'm back to Montreal, I'm back to Montreal. I said I've been to one WrestleMania. I said that's definitely not the last WrestleMania I'm at. I'll definitely go to at least 5 more in my lifetime. I'll go to tons more UFC shows, and I guarantee I'll be back to Montreal a couple of times.
Awesome.
See friends, definitely. See
Look
my
forward
friends.
to it.
And well, you get to see a show together next time.
I hope
Hopefully
so.
one of his shows. That's
Hopefully.
I'd actually sooner go see Johnny North in Lachine. I always remember the name Lachine. Any of those places to wrestle rather than even than a WWE show. So we're going to have to time it. That someday you're having a show, I'll come out and I'll watch it and I'll be there in the front row cheering you on and I'll even give you some cheap heat.
Well, hope him a face.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm just I'd say as well, I don't even care, I don't even need front row seats like Dave Simon. I'm happy to sit 3 rows back, I'm okay with it. I don't need the preferential treatment. I mean, Dave's going to think I'm burying him here now. I love you, Dave. But it's,
this isn't about burying David
No, it's
Simon.
not,
We're
it's
just
not.
addressing the controversies that have been aired on Wrestling Uncensored that are coming up now on Where's Wally.
Yeah, where's Wally?
Now, there was a situation with Drew
That could be
Warner.
actually a name though, sorry for going to cross you. The Where's Wally name could be a trademark though, because that is a book.
If you want it, you could have it.
Yeah, I'll have it, it's fine.
But controversy, I think he actually aired his grievances on What's Fandom in Japan. He told
Dave
Fandom,
did?
Yeah, he told Fandom about how, like, I said I get him front row, and he said, oh, I charged him front row.
You got him front row, didn't you?
I got him front row,
Just
but
off center.
they weren't centered because there was like a lineup, people reserved, whatever. Thing is, like, that's why, like, they were like 22 something, I think, the tickets, and that's why, like, when he gave me a 20, I'm like, I'll just take the 20 because, like, I wasn't sure how they were gonna set up because they weren't even sure how they were gonna set up.
Yeah.
So I knew that there was gonna be problems, and I kind of told them this ahead of time, like, I feel like there might be problems here. Like, it's better just the 20. It's fine. It's cool. So that's why he knew ahead of time what was going on, but you know. That's,
He's done ring announcing at just some of your matches, isn't he?
he has.
What's he
ring
like in the ring
announcing.
announcing?
He's really good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, he's not cheap.
Is he not? So there you go. You can never. That's a good thing though.
You're gonna have to pay him if you want him.
That's it.
That's it.
good. You see, that's good. I mean, because Dave said he's covering all like TKO and all that stuff. He seems like he's the man in this city for martial arts and combat sports. He seems like he's the main guy. Like he's the spoke of this show, of Ringside Report and Wrestling Centre. He's the man that links it all together. Do you think someday he'll be the man around Montreal that is just he's Mr. MMA and Mr. Wrestling?
I think he already is,
He is,
Mr. MMA. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is with wrestling, there's just so many different people in wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he kind of is too. I mean, he's on TSN every week for like years.
And he's brilliant though, even when he's on other shows. Like anytime he's even on someone else's show talking about it, he's really knows what he's talking about. Like
Oh, he's the guy. And now we're putting him over. See, like,
Yeah, there you go.
We buried him. Now
Yeah.
we're putting him up again.
I want to
See?
say that about you guys as well. The thing I really like about you guys that I'm not burying Ireland now. I love Ireland, but a lot of them other shows over there that will cover similar stuff to this is you are always so respectful. Like even when you don't like something, you'll still like if you don't like. Obviously, certain wrestlers say, "Oh, I don't like him," whatever. But it's done in a way where it's not like personal. It's just you make sure they know. Like I just don't like the character, do you know, that kind of way, or like even like in UFC or MMA, you never like even if they don't think a certain fighter is good, it's done in a. There's still respect shown. It's kind of like, well, fair play. He's putting himself in there, you know. He's showing up. At least he's in there doing it. I don't like him, but you know, I like that kind of aspect of the show. I think that's something that warmed me to the show because there's a lot of people over, not just in Ireland but around the world that might be kind of like they'd be very kind of disrespectful, like on Twitter or whatever. They'd be like trolling people and like you guys don't go in for any of that kind of. You know, you give an opinion, but it's always like based on something. It's not just to slag off someone or.
Well, sometimes we have arguments,
Yeah.
and sometimes, you know, I will fight back on that argument, and you will be very upset with that. That happens, though. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not meant to hurt him. It's just, you know, if you throw a stone at me, I'm gonna get a bigger stone and throw it right back at you. That's
Dave's getting buried again. This is
not getting buried.
This is a roller coaster. This is burying, putting him over.
This is
burying,
burying.
put him over. Put him over there. Go on, put him over.
Dave's a great guy. You should
And he's
listen.
good at baseball. You're saying he's good at baseball. He was.
Dave was amazing at baseball.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Probably still is.
Probably still is. He seems the kind of guy if he puts whatever he puts his mind to, he's gonna get good at. Is he that kind of guy? I was only like I was kind of making a guess of what sizes everyone's t-shirt would be. I hope I got them right. I kind of make obviously you make like you kind of think, oh, what would that person be like?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of get the impression from Dave that he'd be kind of the guy if whatever he puts his mind to, he'll do.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair assessment.
Yeah, he seems
no
like
question.
he seems just really driven and
I mean, when he's passionate about
Yeah.
something, you know?
Because he talks with passion. Because I listen to some of the old episodes of Wrestling Censored, and there's times when he used to ring in, and there'd be a good 20 minutes where Dave would just talk about Daniel Bryan. And it'd be 20 minutes of absolute passion. If I wanted someone to defend me in court, I'm getting Dave Simon in. Because he just would go off, and I guarantee him, he would have made like Vince McMahon wince at times, going, whoa. I'd love to see Dave go into Vince McMahon and bang on the table and say, you listen here to me, because he probably would listen. I love that about him, you know.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere you'd forget you were there, because you'd be 20 minutes a day, and then it'd be like, so Johnny, what do you think? And then you'd be on the phone and you'd be like, well,
Yeah, well, the thing with that, because it was different back then because we were on the phone, so it's hard
Yeah.
for us to feed off each other because we're not really feeding off each other. We're pretty much just having a phone conversation. And
that's a lot harder, isn't it?
it doesn't work the same way. I mean, the fact that we can see each other, we can kind of interact with each other now, the fact that we had the pre-show, the fact that we kind of warmed each other up to just talking, period, helped a lot. Like, sometimes, like, there was weeks I'd go in, like, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't say a word from one show from one week to the next.
Yeah.
So it was actually really helpful for me that Dave would just talk for 20 minutes because I wasn't used to talking, period, at all.
You
So,
definitely have seen how much more confident you've gone even in delivering stuff.
I'm amazing, I know.
Yeah, you are. He is.
I know.
He is, though.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and it's great to see. And I think another great thing I like as well, I think we said this last night, was a bit like the way Tough, the Ultimate Fighter, you get to see the people's personalities. I think just like obviously the first few shows, I'd have just like, you would have heard like what you guys think of wrestling and what you think of MMA and the different shows, but now you kind of get to see the people behind it. Like, you'll talk about your movies, and you'll talk about your hobbies, and Dave will talk about his life, and it kind of just makes you more kind of, I don't know, it kind of brings the universe even more together, the Wrestling Censored universe, where you feel you know the people more. Like, because I met Johnny for the first time last night in person, but it wasn't as if I was kind of like, oh, he's different than I thought he'd be. He's from the shows, he's the exact same. He's a great guy. They say never meet your heroes, but I say, feck that, I have met one of them, and he's a top guy, like, really delivered
that.
big time, and I'm sure the lads will later as well.
Thank you.
Dave and the guys. But yeah, this is weird. As this show goes out, I've never actually met Dave before in person.
Yeah, that's fun too.
There's a couple of hours to come of that. I've been on Terry telling me buried him sometimes on the show we made here.
This will be a surprise for him. We'll just keep it as a surprise.
I think we put him over way more than we buried him.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Definitely, see how good he was at baseball. Let's just recap how he put his mind to anything. He could do whatever he wants. How he is the only guy I know that could intimidate Vince McMahon, banging on his desk saying, you need to do this now, and Vince would be like, whoa. You know? So I think that's way better than... What negatives did we say?
Just that me and him sometimes
Someone
we
throw
have
stones
arguments.
or bricks and stuff.
Yeah, we have some arguments from time to time, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
It's life. But, you know, it's not hate, you know.
No.
There's no hate involved.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thanks again, Wally.
Yeah, that's been really
appreciate
good.
this.
I think I did my outro of the thing about 10 minutes ago.
That's
you
fine,
start
though.
talking again. I was like, so what do you think of Gangrel?
That's cool.
It's been great. Thanks a million for having us.
Cheers.